Hey guys, welcome back to Morgan Hill Farms. I have something very exciting going on here. Yesterday, Nate was working in Atlanta and I called him when he was on his way home and I told him that these cover crops are really just, they're just getting me, and I'm so concerned that I'm not going to be able to plant my garden out. So on the way home from Atlanta, he picked up for me a torch weeder, and that is what he is going to put together for me. So Nate, why don't you tell us what you're doing?
I am hooking this up to our propane, and we're going to burn some stuff.
Shouldn't you hook it up to a smaller container?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I thought that was really sweet of him to do that, and so I'm hoping that this takes care of the headache. In addition to that, today I'm going to be prepping my #1 row here. I want to get the weeds pulled out. I want to pull back some of the wood chips if they've come on top of the bed. I need to amend it with some compost, and then I want to get my peas planted if I have enough time. Every year I miss the mark on peas. I either plant them too late in the spring or I plant them too late in the fall, and I haven't gotten a harvest off of these things in a few years. So I am going to try to get these in the ground quicker this year and see if we can't get a harvest, because I love fresh green peas and frozen green peas. Are they too wet? The first thing that I always do when I prep my rows is to make sure I get all of the weeds out. I'm going to take these up to the chickens because I don't want to compost them and take the chance that I might have weed seeds in my compost, because I'll be using that in the fall time to amend my beds. Then I'm just working with this cover crop residue. I want to get this area nice and smooth and clean so that my seeder can just kind of glide through it. And then I'm going to finish up with my rake and make it nice and even. Because the torch weeder wasn't working for us, Nate went and decided to build some trellises for me. Luckily, we have some electricity down at the garden, and he just uses his grinder to cut cattle panels in half for me. The cattle panels are 16 feet long, so he can get 2 8-foot pieces out of one cattle panel, and I'm gonna need 3 of those, so this works great. So he's taking a T-post pounder and he's pounding these T-posts down into the ground. He did ask me if I wanted 3 T-posts, but I thought 2 would be okay. We're gonna use some zip ties to attach these to the T-posts. Zip ties are a wonderful thing, and I suggest, if you can, buy them in bulk because you can use them for so many projects. And you can see him here, he's just gonna secure these on really, really well using a couple per post. And here he is doing the 3rd T-post because we realized that the cattle panel was kind of bowing out, so he's going to put the 3rd T-post in there. I did tell him he could compact my bed because I made the mistake of using just 2. Here's a little tip. Don't ever try to hold a T-post while someone else is pounding it because it really, really hurts. Here we are the next day. I didn't have time to finish yesterday, so we're back again, and I'm just amending this bed with about 1 to 2 inches of really nice compost, and I'm going to use my rake to smooth that out and make it nice and even. Now, before I can plant my peas, I need to inoculate them, which basically just means I'm adding in a good bacteria that's going to help my peas to fix nitrogen. It's going to make them more vigorous and a lot more healthy. So the first thing that I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of water on them, and then I'm going to use an inoculant that I got from Johnny Seeds, and I'm going to sprinkle that on. It's like a powder, and I will coat my peas in that, and then I will let them dry. The 2 types of peas that I'm going to use are going to be Maxigold and Bistro. Now, both of these peas only grow to about 30 inches high, so they need no trellising, which is a fantastic benefit. Maxigold is really productive and it has a really long harvest window, so my peas will stay sweeter for longer if I don't get to harvest them in time. And the Bistro peas have really high yields and they're very disease resistant. So I'm going to try these 2 this year and kind of trial them and see which one I like the best. So the first year that I planted out my garden, I did everything by hand, and it was so tedious. You have to dig the hole, put the seed in, cover it, and then pack the soil down so you get some good contact between the seed and the soil. So there's essentially 4 steps when you're planting a seed. I happened to stumble across this the next year, and this is called an earthway seeder. This thing does all 4 steps at once, and I just simply pour my seed in this little hopper here, and I walk down the row, and it seeds it, it covers the hole, and it compacts it down for me. So this thing is a lifesaver. If you guys have any type of area that you're seeding and you're doing a lot of seeds, I highly suggest getting one of these. They're not too expensive. I got this at Northern Tool for about $90, and they come with a bunch of different seeding plates. So this one here, it says beans and small peas. There's also one for lettuce, carrots. I think it comes with like 8 to 10 plates. So it's really self-explanatory. They label everything on the plates for what you need. You simply stick it in here. So this seeder literally saves me hours a day when I'm down here planting out my garden. So I'm just gonna take all of my inoculated seeds now, and we're gonna put these in the hopper. I did have some helpers down in the garden here helping me weed while I amended some of these beds, and you can see those beautiful trellises that Nate installed for me yesterday. I had one kiddo who was sick, so she decided to go over and sit and read with the goats. So here I am, I'm just planting in some sugar snap peas from Johnny Seeds. Now these ones will grow in a vine-like fashion. They'll get about 72 inches high, so that's what I needed these trellises for. And I will have 3 8-foot sections of sugar snap peas. They're supposed to be super sweet. They're supposed to be extremely, extremely productive, and they are actually said to grow in both hot and cold climates. So I'm hoping to get a longer harvest off of these into the summer because my kids absolutely love these, and sugar snap peas can be pretty pricey in the store. I'm not really doing a great job spacing them here, but that's okay because I will make sure that I've got plenty coming up, and if I have to thin them later, I will go ahead and do that. After I've planted them, I'm just gonna cover them over with about 1/2 inch of soil, and then I'm gonna make sure to come back and just sort of compact the soil lightly over them. You do want to have a good contact between your seed and the soil. That's going to help to signal the seed to germinate and to start growing for you. And once you plant, always make sure that you water everything in very, very well. Okay guys, let's hope that I hit the mark this year for planting my peas and that we actually get a harvest. And let's also say a prayer that that torch weeder works because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.